Welcome to Super Connections. I am your host, Jennifer K. Hill, helping you with the golden triangle of connection, where you will super connect to yourself, others, and your purpose. Join me each week as I will share from some of my favorite tips and tools for super connecting, and I'll bring in some of my favorite friends and thought leaders to help support you on your journey to super connecting to the life of your dreams. Hi, friends, and welcome back for episode 27 of Super Connections podcast. I'm Jennifer K. Hill, where we bring you tips and tools on how to super connect to yourself, others, and your purpose. Lately, one of the focuses I've been working on in terms of OptiMatch and the company I run is how we can help humanize AI and how can we put the human back in technology. Well, in the same way that we want to help humanize AI so that way we don't wind up in some sort of dystopic future, what if there was a way that AI could help humanize you? You heard me right, so let's deep dive in this. A lot of us are on autopilot. We don't even realize it, but we're running the same programs over and over, just the same way that your computer or your Mac or your Microsoft runs the same programs. So too do we as human beings run the same programs over and over without even being aware that these programs are running. So one of the greatest ways that we can super connect to ourselves is to understand how to utilize technology such as AI to better understand ourselves, not in a way of manipulating or judging or feeling shame or guilt about who we are or how we show up, but sometimes the simplest thing, like asking questions of AI or asking it to prompt you, can help for greater insight and wisdom and living a more fulfilling life. So let's start with a couple of my favorite AI prompts that you can use to deep dive and find out perhaps some little shadow sides of yourself that you didn't know. I've personally been on this journey, many of you have heard me say, for going on 20 years now, and I wish I had had a tool like this where it could have helped me to realize 20 years ago when I was first being a jerk to myself and others. So here are a few of my favorite prompts. This is one that was introduced to me by a group that I'm a part of a while back. It says, if you were the CIA creating a dossier on me, based only on what you know, what would it say about my strengths, my weaknesses, my blind spots, and my hidden talents? Now, I remember when I first did this one a couple of months ago myself, I was like, whoo, exploding head emoji, because it had some really good stuff in there. Many of us may be aware of our strengths, but we're often not aware of our weaknesses. When I had AI do this analysis for me, it said one of my weaknesses is naivety and looking for the good in people and situations where I might need to learn to be a little bit more discerning about who I let into my inner circle and how I work with them. So if you've ever been curious, and if you're somebody who uses Chat or Perplexity or whatever your Grok, whatever your favorite AI tool is, I invite you, start with a simple prompt. It could be the CIA one, or I'll give you another one that's fun. This is one I just ran right before the show, so I can share with you the results. This one is, based on my choices, what patterns do you see in my life that I may not see for myself? So I'll say that again. Based on my choices, what patterns do you see in my life that I might not see for myself? So in terms of this, AI just answered this for me right before the show. It said that I have a builder pattern, meaning I constantly love to build things that haven't existed before. I have a connector pattern. I weave everything and everyone and resources together. I have the seeker pattern. I'm always chasing truth, whether through I Ching, Kabbalah, or human design, as many of you know. But by the way, one of my new favorite uses for ChatGPT is I travel a lot, so I love to ask important life questions of I Ching. There's a website called I Ching Online where you can toss the coins and then it tells you what your I Ching result is. And then what I do is I drop those results into ChatGPT and I have it interpret for me the hexagram and what's called the transformed hexagram. And just a few weeks ago, I was doing this for a trip I have coming up to Bali, and I was debating, how do I get to Bali? Do I fly via Qatar, via Turkey, via Dubai? And it was astounding. Check back with me. I'll have to let you guys know how it went after the trip. But it said if I were to go via Qatar or Turkey, that there would be delays and obstacles. However, it said if I went via Dubai or Abu Dhabi, it would be the smoothest trip. So fingers and toes crossed. I'll let you know on how that prediction turns out. But, for me, I'm always looking, taking it back to what it says my choices are, is I'm always seeking different patterns and trying to understand things. And the transformer pattern, meaning I'm always transforming breakdowns into breakthroughs. Now, here's where it says the gift is for each of these in the shadow. So after I asked that, I then said, what is the shadow side of this that I might not be aware of? So here we said number one was the builder pattern, and the gift of that is creating something from nothing. However, the shadow, and I'm reading this to you out loud in real time as I'm actually looking it up, is that I can become restless, always needing to build the next thing without fully savoring or stabilizing what I've already built. This can leave me feeling like nothing is ever enough. Any of you ever felt that way? And it is true. It's funny until I love doing this in real time and being authentic with you and just sharing with you what's actually coming up. I didn't even read this because I wanted to be equally surprised with you on the air, but it does make sense that that is a shadow side and an area that I have a great opportunity for growth. Now, in terms of the connector one, it says it's great. I weave patterns and ideas and people together. But it says the shadow to this is that I may overgive my energy, taking responsibility for everyone else's connections or success. And it says if I'm not careful, I can wind up drained. Now, this is so beautiful and apropos because this is exactly what I've been working on in the last few weeks. Now, imagine if you didn't know this and you kept playing out the same relationship or friendship patterns over and over. What if a simple 5-10 minutes on AI could help reveal to you things that you might not have thought for yourself? The seeker pattern. So this is the thing for me where I'm always seeking for something new. Now, as much as the gift is that I'm always digging for truth and understanding of myself and others, here's what chat says. It says the shadow is that I can sometimes chase the next teaching, the next key, overlooking the answers that are already within. This can become spiritual bypassing or perpetual searching rather than integrating. If I'm being totally honest, I can see in real life how that is absolutely accurate and true. Where sometimes if I'm doing things and I'm always looking for something, I can't appreciate and integrate some of the tools that I already have. And finally, it says the transformer pattern. Now, while it's great that I can transform any sort of pain into something beautiful, it also says that I might unconsciously create or attract crisis because a part of me is used to going through fire. Transformation then becomes exhausting instead of liberating because it feels like life is one big challenge after another. So that's in real time as I was looking at my chat today, what it's sharing with me. And that's just one of the many ways you can do it. Another couple of prompts that you might want to ask AI to better understand yourself are, what are the 3 archetypes that seem to show up again and again in my life? Or perhaps another one is, what are qualities of mine that create the biggest impact? And what are qualities that I have that I might unintentionally push people away? So I'm actually going to plug that one into chat right now, and I'll tell you in real time what it says. So this is a lot of fun. I invite you to drop in, and I'll see if we can add these to the show notes for you. So here it says some of my qualities are visionary energy, connector's heart, courage first, generosity of spirit. But it also says that some of these qualities might also occur as high intensity, that my passion and drive can sometimes feel overwhelming for people, that I might come across as restless or overly direct, and that I might have too high of expectations. So imagine if you're somebody out there and you want to find your soulmate, or you really just want to find a sense of deep inner peace or knowing, these are things that might be helpful to look into. Now, another fun way that you can utilize AI to help yourself better understand yourself and your life is your dreams. Years ago, I had the privilege and honor of working with an incredible dream coach, Goalie. She was working with an A-list actor friend of mine at the time, and he said he worked with her to help her divine his next roles. So during our time working together, that's when I was still working in corporate America with a lot of law firms and had just sold my first company. And the first time I did dream work with Goalie, I had a dream of a newscaster, a very polished professional male newscaster, and this was probably, I think, 2019. And so Goalie says to me, the dream coach, afterwards, she says, "Oh, my love, you're going to be on TV." And I said, "No, I'm not. I just sold my company. I couldn't even do it if I wanted to. I have a contract." And sure enough, less than a year later, I was hosting a post-Oscar red carpet event in Los Angeles, interviewing celebrities and doing a show with Deepak Chopra. So the good news is, whether or not you have a goalie in your life, a dream coach, you can also use chat as your dream coach. One of my favorite things to do is when I wake up in the morning is reflect and see if there were any important symbols or images in my dreams that might need to be interpreted. So I'll give you another real life example of a dream I had last night. So in my dream last night, I'm in the middle of the ocean and I'm swimming, and I look to my left and there are hundreds and hundreds of these beautiful grayish spinner dolphins jumping and diving all around me, and I'm completely unafraid and there with them. But what was beautiful about it was, out of the blue, there was one pink dolphin. So there's all these beautiful gray dolphins, and then there was one pink dolphin in the midst of it all. Now, I have no idea what this means, but let's again plug it into ChatGPT. I'm going to ask Chat. I had a dream last night about swimming with hundreds of dolphins, feeling happy. You have to write how you're feeling, but one of the dolphins was pink. Please help me understand what this means. All right, so we've just put that in ChatGPT, and here, I'll even share with you in real time. I'll share my screen so you can see what it's saying here. So here's what it says. It says, here's a layered interpretation of your dream. Dolphins in general can represent playfulness and symbolize joy and connection. Swimming with them suggests you're moving with ease through the collective energy. Community and communication, they're highly social. So you can see up here the prompt that I put in, just very simple. And then the pink dolphin, pink is rare in nature, so it carries strong symbolic weight. Unconditional love, rare gift, spiritual awakening. There are actual real pink river dolphins as seen that are mystic beings that connect humans to other worlds. So here down at the bottom, you'll see it gives me an overall interpretation. It says that the dream that I had suggests that I'm moving through life in harmony with community, the dolphins, but Spirit is showing me the pink dolphin as a reminder of my unique role, my rare heart-centered gift, and the importance of not losing myself in the collective. And so then down here, it gives you options of journal prompts. So say that maybe you're somebody who's new to the spiritual process and you're trying to figure out, how do you connect more deeply to yourself? How do you better understand yourself? You can use some of these prompts. Now, I'll finish today's episode by giving you a very fun, simple, real-life prompt that you can ask to real people in your life. I may have mentioned this before, but if I haven't, I'm going to give you 6 questions that I encourage you to ask real people in your life. And heck, you can ask Chat or your favorite AI this as well. Here are the questions. What was your first impression of me when we met? I'll say it again. What was your first impression of me when we met? Where have I surprised you? Where have I disappointed you? What can you count on me for? What can't you count on me for? And what is your impression of me now? These 6 questions have been life-changing for me. I work with all the coaching clients I work with. I have them ask 5 people in their lives these questions. I encourage them to ask very close friends, more recent acquaintances, family members these questions. Now, the secret to this exercise, should you choose to do it, is to stay open. So just remember, stay open whatever you do and use this for the greater good.